there folks, Gareth here from tracyandmatt.co.uk and for unboxings.com and from the Mobile Tech Addicts podcast and live show on Hangouts and Google Plus and YouTube and all that. And I have here the Archos 40 Titanium, a fairly wallet-friendly little device from our favourite French manufacturer. There's not really much else to say about it other than look at the actual device. It has a 4-inch display, 3G+, obviously not 4G then, 5 megapixel with an LED flash, Wi-Fi, dual SIM and a dual core CPU. It reiterates these specifications on this side as well. Notice that this is the 4GB version. That's a bit of an atrocity if you ask me. I don't think 4GB should ever be written on a phone anywhere in the world. We have specifications here that they brag. Okay, so it's running Android 4.2.2, it's got a 4-inch capacitive multi-display, dual-core 1.3 GHz, 512 megabytes of RAM, 4 gigabytes of storage with external storage, expandable storage up to 32 gigabytes, a 5 megapixel autofocus camera with a 0.3 megapixel on the front, Wi-Fi, micro SD slot, Bluetooth 3.0, blah 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 blah, and logos, yay. So the device itself is inside the box. There's nothing in here, just cardboard, and here we have the actual device nestled in this cradle with some free dust from Archos. Thank you very much. Also in here we have a multi-connector for the plug, which looks quite complicated to be honest. Right, okay, so we put that in and we put that right, so those go on like that, and no, that doesn't fit into that. See, that one's quite small, and then that one's also quite small, but that one's quite big. If we were to link that up with that, then that would fit in. Ah, there we go. Excellent. There's only a UK adapter in there, but I guess we'll let them away with that because we've got a USB cable and we can use that anywhere else. Oh, there is a SIM card shoe. Quite nice, a bit flimsy I suppose, but it has plastic over here, so you must have to peel it back, or maybe it's a bit sticky. Ah yes, you remove this and it's sticky underside. Nice thought, very nice, very nice. I'm impressed with that. It's the little things, isn't it? Just the little things. This has been unboxed before, it would appear. Archos warranty, legal and safety notes, a proper Archos manual in various languages, and Archos technical help pamphlet. Who to call? Simple. Now the device itself, which comes in a rather sleek and sexy bit of packaging, is dusty, and this is quite nice. This seems to be becoming more and more popular. This kind of rubberized feel. Actually, we saw this recently on some of the Sony devices, but it was incredibly fingerprinty. This isn't. This is really quite matte, if we can see that. So, not much of a texture to it. It's very lightly speckled, but yeah, I quite like that. That's a nice feel. It's got a nice feel to it. Yeah, the battery's already inside it, which is now the norm when you're shipping. Looking around the device, what do we have on this side? There's very little aside from a power button. Well, the device is already on. I didn't do that myself. Maybe I hit it earlier. Micro USB, 3.5mm headphone jack. The micro USB is on the top of the device, so that's going to limit ways in which of it being docked. There's a speaker grill there as well. It's quite a nice design actually. Volume up and down rocker. Nothing else down this side. There's a bit of, is that the sort of metallic structure feel? Yeah, it's quite nice. Nothing on the bottom aside from a microphone hole, and then there's that must be, well, maybe it's a speaker or it's a indentation for your nail to fit in to get the SIM card in under there, and there's a speaker on the back. Oops. Let's see if we can get this open and have a look at the innards. Nothing in there, no NFC, although there's a little illustration there of do not throw in the bin, or at least the battery, don't throw in the bin. So we have the battery, which weighs in at a whopping 1500 milliamp bars, which is quite good for this device, I suppose, the size of the device. We have a 2G SIM card here, slot, and a 2G, 3G SIM card. Right, so that's interesting that it's 2G and 2G, 3G, so it's not 2G, 3G modems. And then a micro SD card goes there, and there's a micro SD card goes there, and there's the 1500 milliamp hour battery there, and all the IMEI. Okay, so we put this in here, so a little hole there. That's the flash and the camera, which is 5 megapixel, as we told you earlier, and that's the speaker grill. Yeah, so it's quite a nice device. There's not too much to it. It's got a very small footprint to it. Obviously hard key or capacitive buttons down there. Front facing 0.3 megapixel camera there, and I just felt it vibrate there, so it's got haptic feedback, which is a good sign. Nothing is happening, it just vibrated again. Archos, entertainment your way. There was a point in life when I used to fear seeing that logo, but more recently they're reshaping and becoming a very much well, one of the top manufacturers, to be honest. I'm really quite impressed by this device. It's nice, it feels nice. It is a real shame it's got 4 gigabytes of ROM on it, and only half a gigabyte of RAM. So up the top here we have slot 2 and slot 1, no SIM card present. Right, the screen's a wee bit dim, perhaps it's on an auto setting of some description. Let's see if we can do this. Obviously this is Android 4.2.2, wasn't it? Yeah. Our Wi-Fi is not connecting at the moment, so we'll get that set up and get it online and see if there's any updates or whatever to it. I can't imagine there is right now. So make yourself at home. You can put your favorite apps here, spelled American-ish, and there's an OK button down here, and that's about the height of it. We have Archos Video, which is the media player, and Archos Music. 2 pretty good media players, I have to say. I bought the Archos Video once so that I could use it on every other device. What else do we have in the App Store here? We've got the phone. Oh, we've got another instruction. Choose some applications. Hold the screen. Touch and hold it. Right, okay. Messaging, browser, camera, movie studio. Yep, all seems fairly standard. There's nothing really too heavy here. There's no heavy overlay or anything on it. It's about as close as you're going to get to stock Android. Aside from the bundled apps, I can't see anything here that is a million miles away from Android, or from stock Android. So if we were to go to the settings, go down to About Phone, we've got Android 4.2.2. Well, that's not going to work because I haven't set up yeah, it's actually quite a nice device. I'm quite impressed by it. There does seem to be a bit of a gap there between. Oh, can we see that? Can we see that? Between the case and the flash. I wonder if that would affect the flash, because the flash is not flush with the actual case. Not that it would create shadowing or anything, but it might just not get the full effect of the LED flash in there. And there we are on the camera anyway. Let's take a quick snap of the USB cable. Was chugging a wee bit there. And there's a scrolly bit across the top here where you select your settings. We'll turn on the flash and see how that works. Did that make any difference whatsoever? I don't really think so. A bit blurry. I suppose that's not too bad a picture there. If you can see that, let's use the studio lights. Okay, well, there's not too much to actually show off here. I suppose I could do some quadrant benchmarking and things like that. but we'll maybe save that for the review. But this is our first look at the Archos 40 Titanium, and if this is anything to go by, then I can only imagine that the bigger brothers are worth looking at as well, because this is a nice little device. I'm not sure what it retails for, but I'll put it in the post on the site, and you can check there. Just noticing that that's quite scratchy, but maybe it's one of those self-repairing material. It is, yeah. Well, you can wipe off your scratches at least. That's not quite self-repairing. But yes, quite a nice device. Looking forward to giving it a go. I won't be using it as my daily phone, but I will. I'll certainly have a go, because I'm quite interested to see how the two SIM cards work in here. If you have to turn it off and on or anything like that. Well, I suppose you don't, because it was showing up there on the top of the menu that the SIM cards are not detected. You got 1 and 2 up there. Okay, well, thanks very much. Remember to check in for the podcast, the live hangout, of course. We'll be back next Thursday with Retro Tech Addicts, which, if you're watching this in a few weeks' time, then that has no bearing on time or date or whatever. But you can always find us over at tracyandmatt.co.uk and on unboxings and here.